A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube in beautiful State College. Just the camera here just a little bit as we come off of a very busy weekend.
Well, what did you do?
Up as well, and we will get into all of it, including March Madness. How's your bracket holding up there, dear Goon?
Actually, it might be the best bracket I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone. It has not been a a particularly shocking tournament. Some surprises here and there. For
you
sure,
know what I noticed?
Yeah. No,
there hasn't been one overtime game.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Seems a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching all these games on the weekend, and I'm like, dude, there's 32 games opening round, and then 16 more. So there's 48 games we went through and didn't have one overtime.
Yeah.
And only one real. The Maryland game on Sunday night was like the only one, like the real buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Like you usually get a lot of those. I don't think we have any kind of, small school making a run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all the big boys going at it right now, and then they're killing people.
Yeah.
There's some blowouts.
Yes. So
you never sent me anything.
We'll see it. I've won every game.
You said it next week. You'll send it back in a couple of weeks. I got you.
Oh, did I not show it to you? I'll get around to showing it to you. It might be another couple of weeks, but I have it laying around. But so far, have not missed a game. Now,
that's unbelievable, Jeff.
Now we might, again, we're getting into. Not saying I'm going to remain perfect, but so far, absolutely perfect.
I heard you actually picked all 48 games right with the spreads.
That's
how hot you were.
So far, that is actually accurate. It's been amazing. Again, I left it at home. I meant to bring it in to show you, but
this is my favorite show of the year, by the way.
Try to remember. Yeah,
it's even more important to me today because I like talking to you about what you did over the weekend. Obviously, going down to Philly and calling the wrestling matches and all that, and just an unbelievable weekend. But I like interviewing you on this. And then what the first question I'm going to have being a Philadelphia person. What did you eat?
Well, so this is the thing.
Oh no.
It really is a working trip, and I'm pretty much holed up in the arena from a couple of hours before the first session each day until usually about a half hour after the final session. And then we're pretty much just going back to the hotel. So we make a little run over to Whole Foods. I get my breakfast food.
Oh.
I'll grab something here or there at the arena, and that is pretty much it. Now Wednesday evening, I do go out with some friend. We went to Barclays Prime.
Oh, that's what I was going to get at.
You recommended, and it was phenomenal. There's 5 of us this year that got together. And just wonderful time, great meal. But that's pretty much it until I get back to State College.
More than I thought. I mean, at least you got the Barclays Prime. That's pretty awesome. Any super? What did you get?
Well, so I was in a bit of a health kick, and I got to get back to it. That tournament, that my plan to remain on the health kick fell apart, as I was fearful it might over the course of the tournament. There's just things that I feel like I got to get done, and there's just limited time there between sessions and all of that. And I will say, talking to a couple of other people that were on the social media end of it for Penn State, you're just kind of wiped out at the end of the day. And so for me, I tend to be an early riser anyway. It's just easier for me, or better for me, to get up early. But the problem is then obviously you can't, but there's not much time to do anything else if you're spending the couple of hours before you leave for the event and the arena. To get anything else done. So we stayed a good bit of ways from the arena as well. There were a few things that I think were just interesting, aside from obviously the wrestling itself. Penn State did a a great job. They actually set up a ballroom at their hotel with a wrestling match. So they were able to work out in their hotel, which is a big deal. It obviously keeps you away from all of the other teams and just having to maneuver around everybody. But it also is just very convenient, obviously, for the wrestlers. Makes it the whole process a little easier for all involved. The president coming on Saturday was, I think, terrific for the sport, and I don't want to get into the politics of it. You can have whatever opinion you want. I do think, and I would say this regardless of who the president was, I think it's a big deal when a sport that is a niche sport, which wrestling is,
Correct.
can get the president of the United States and other dignitaries in attendance. It's a big deal. It helps, in terms of the overall national impression. I mean, we've seen more coverage in part because of Hendrickson's upset of Stevenson, which we'll get into later, but also
that was pretty big.
Also because of the president being there and the wrestlers.
So
by and large,
watching the
lined
coverage
up for photos with the president, but additional security, and they did a good job of letting everybody know even before the tournament began. Hey, extra time, preparation. Make sure you're here early. Leave whatever equipment you can that you feel comfortable with at the arena because it's going to be a bigger screening process. I've never been part of the extent of even now. I walked to the last event when the president attended. He was not president then, but when
I was there.
They did a search of all of the vehicles going into the media lot. So you just you get up, they're like, just need everybody to exit the car, leave everything. I have my book bag. Like, just leave that in. They just you pop the trunk, you pop the hood. They have
two little mirrors underneath.
Come over and take a look at it. They have a dog that walks around, checks the trunk, checks all 4 seats, checks the under the hood, and then all right, you can go through. Everybody gets back in. It was a pretty quick and efficient process. And same thing, I thought we might get really tied up. A little bit of a longer line going in Saturday morning than any of the other sessions, but actually, it was not horrible, and they were pretty efficient, and definitely check things more thoroughly than they normally do with those events. But it added maybe a minute to the overall process per person. So again, maybe a 5-minute extra delay there. Not a big deal in the overall scheme of things. And it, I don't know, I thought it was kind of neat. Wrestlers seemed to enjoy it. I think virtually all of the All-Americans at some point made their way over and got their pictures.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. The arena was way different than the coverage of everything. So the word I was told was some people were upset about Starachi having to go first, which I'm sure you're going to have an opinion of, and I'm interested in hearing that. But if you put one of your top matches on first, that gets people to the arena. They wanted them in the arena, and then the Trump motorcade could get in a little bit faster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people were complaining that he tried to steal Starachi's thunder because of when he walked in, he was still doing an interview. But it's not about the TV viewer. It was about the people at the event. And they'd only hear the interview going on ESPN, correct? Which we got to talk about. It's just the coverage was just... me usually going to the event, I don't have to really deal with that, but I had to this past weekend, and I did not like it. It was, if you want me to go on I ran, I will. I mean,
sure.
Mitchell Messenbrink is a Hodge finalist, going for an undefeated record. How many matches or how many minutes of his first 2 matches on Thursday did they show? They didn't show 1 second of any of his matches.
Right?
But
I didn't.
They were. It was almost like Thursday was anti-Penn State because they knew that Friday and Saturday was going to be dominated by Penn State. So I know that they were trying to get other stuff out there and people in there and all that. But come on, man, Mitchell Messenbrink, are you serious? Not a second of a match of his. Not even an update. Not even like wow. It was just too much. And somebody said, well, look what they're doing. They're trying to push you to that ESPN Prime. Oh, you want to watch that match? You got to go to this. You got to get subscriber, pay for this or that. And I was like, well, that's what they do. I mean, that's just it. But it was just a little upsetting. And then for doing what they did on that Thursday, the 20 for 20.
Yep.
I mean, that's just unbelievable. And I was mad going into Friday mornings, waiting to see, well, what are they going to do now? But I will give them their due. And they did really, really, really go after this is unheard of. It's rare air that Penn State is in right now with 10 guys getting through to the semifinals. And it was an unbelievable thing. And then they really just started smothering the Penn State coverage. And of course they lose the first 3 matches on Friday morning, which made it interesting to the viewer, because it was like, oh God, is everything melting down? And then I'll talk to you about some people on social media in the Penn State world, how just absolutely spoiled, rotten they are as fans. Oh, they pooped the bed is what people were saying, and I was like, come on, really, we're really gonna think that this is the dome has been tarnished at Penn State, that the end is near, and it's like, oh my goodness gracious. Obviously, we go through the whole day Friday, and then it was upsetting. I mean, was there anything said Friday night team-wise? Because when they came out Saturday morning, that 15-minute buzz when they've all wrestled in the first half hour of the morning session.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they get into they wrestle back, I guess you'd say. And they win in 15 minutes, all 5 guys win, get third place. It was unbelievable. It was like boom, 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 boom.
Not only that, they all end up with bonus point victories against some of the best competition that the country has to offer, which is in and of itself extremely impressive, obviously. Yeah, there were so many different elements to the tournament and Penn State showing that I think it's... And I think we can get into it a little bit, just the overall perspective and certainly the way, and this happens in sports, right? Like there's you are always measured against your expectations, right? Like we've talked about this with Penn State football. There are people that, well, James Frank, I just was reading through a story on a website about Penn State getting spring practices underway, this and that, and somebody wrote, just had to get in there, well, it'll be fun to watch them see how they won't win a national title again this year, how they'll figure out how James Franklin will figure out a way to blow it, as though James Franklin threw the interception or didn't coach. And again, I'm not, and don't read into that. I'm not anti-Drew Aller either. It's just, again, you play the games, and probably worth remembering that is what all of these sports are. They're games, and you're playing a bunch of teams. Like Notre Dame was out there wanting to win that game as well. They had national title aspirations. They have a bunch of highly touted, highly heralded recruits. They have a good coaching staff. They have a lot of support in place. Like at the end of the day, again, do you want your team to win? Is it fair to make criticisms if you think mistakes are made here or there? Sure. I just think also maybe a little bit of perspective on the overall big picture stuff, which is, hey, it's a game. It's cool that you get the opportunity to play in a game like that. It's cool that you're in that game and have a chance to win. And then, man, it's a bummer that you lost the game. The idea that, well, you just can never win now under this coach. We've talked about this before. It just, until you do. And I mean, this happens with numerous coaches, numerous programs. Man, they're never going to win. And then they do. It's, oh, well, yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Leave all that money.
Yeah. So, again, there are other really good teams, really good coaches out there trying to do the same thing that your program and coaches are. And again, we'll get into it. Just every tournament for every team, there are some ups and downs. Now, maybe more ups, maybe more downs, depending on your team and your year. But it really is. It's interesting to measure stuff just in general, and then versus expectations, right? So, like a Wyatt Hendrickson winning that national title, rightfully getting all kinds of adulation. Gable Steveson getting criticized again. They went out. It's two really good heavyweights. Hendrickson was the better guy that day. Hit a great takedown. Did a fantastic job getting the head up, driving through. I mean, it was textbook stuff. And hats off to him. And I think too often we just spend way too much time going berserk over a given result in a given sporting event. And always when there is a great upset, it means by definition that some team or individual that was expected to do great has fallen short of what that expectation was.
There was a lot of different things that went on there that weekend. The 10 All-Americans they announced that Friday, which was amazing. Which was right. We knew that Friday, right?
Well, no. Well, yes, 10. That we had 10 All-Americans. Yes.
Did it make an announcement at the arena? I thought I heard something and that people were cheering. But,
I honestly don't.
Yeah, you were busy, I guess. So that in itself was Friday was great, and then Saturday. That in itself and how it all went down, but then Starachi winning the 5th title, that was a whole nother subset thing. And then the Nebraska guys, they wrestled great. They really did. I mean, They were talking about when Penn State won a national title a couple of years ago, or Iowa, and then we had 5 national champions. That was the buzz leaving the arena. And then Hendrickson goes out and does what he does, and it's just like, whoa, damn! And there's a lot of stuff that went on there this weekend.
And so a couple of things, just a couple
the all-time record being broken.
A couple of additional thoughts. One, when we talk about expectations and then what happens, and I have no problem, by the way, with Mark Manning being Coach of the Year. He is a great coach. He did a fantastic job with this team. 8 All-Americans, runner-up finish, all great stuff. So understand I'm acknowledging all of that. If objectively, and you take away the expectations, and you can't, that is part of the equation. I understand it, and I'm not even arguing it should be. I'm just saying, if objectively, I told you, man, one coach got the Coach of the Year over the other, and you're like, man, what? Why? Well, primarily because he only lost to the other coach by 60 points on the biggest stage. Right? Objectively, well, wait a second. The coach whose team won by 60
set the all-time record,
lost to the coach that lost by 60 points. Like not a narrow, razor thin margin. It's like correct. So congratulations, you stayed within 60. Here's your Coach of the Year. Again, I'm just telling, that is a perspective that I think you could reasonably have on this. It's like, wonder. And by the way, there are a number. Doug Schwab, what he did with Northern Iowa this year, they didn't have quite the national tournament that they were wanting, but. And there were great coaches up and down. David Taylor did a great job with the Oklahoma State program. Tom Ryan had Ohio State fare pretty well. I think Brandon Eggman, Minnesota. And by the way, there's a bunch of other coaches. Roger Reyna at Penn. I mean, he had Penn in the top 10 throughout that first day. And I think I'll have to go back. I think they finished in the top 20 or at least in the top 25, which, again, given resources, given everything else involved, Pat Santoro and Lehigh. I mean, there are a bunch of really good coaches, and depending on what it is you want to use, what the metrics are that you're going to apply to, hey, man, I think this guy. So again, I'm not sitting here telling you that it's outrageous that Manning won it or anything like it. I'm just saying that obviously the expectation going in was Penn State was going to win and win big. Penn State did win and win big. And because of those expectations, I think to some degree, Cale Sanderson and the program to some extent get penalized when they do what's expected because, again,
the Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan thing, like, whoa, why is he not coach of the year? Well, this other team, and they were really bad last year, and they came back and really did well this year. Yeah, it's a disgrace. I mean, it's not a disgrace. I shouldn't say that because the Nebraska coaches deserve it. But come on, what Cale did, I mean, geez, how do you set the all-time record? You had 10 All-Americans, and then your expectations are so high that it was almost a letdown. Are you kidding me? No, yeah, I have to ask you this because I've been trying to figure it out. Can't find it. How many teams qualified 10 guys? 4. Yeah. And Northern Iowa was the one that I saw, and I was like, how the hell does Northern Iowa qualify 10 guys? Yeah. So Penn State, probably Iowa and Oklahoma State?
No. Nebraska? Ohio State, Penn State.
Ohio State?
Yep. Northern Iowa and Cornell, maybe?
Okie State? No.
With a 4. No.
Wow. Well, it's okay. I just wanted. I could not for the life of me.
Right. I think it was Ohio State. I think it was 4, and I think it was Ohio State, Cornell, Penn State. I might be missing somebody. There might have been 5.
Yeah, because last week somebody sent me the current odds for winning the national title. Penn State was minus 6,000. So you had to risk $6,000 to win $100. I mean, just put it in perspective. Yeah. You would have to put up $30,000 to win $500 on that. That's how big of an advantage they had. And there were other teams, because I'm asking this question, but there were other teams who were plus 100,000. And I'm like, how do you get the plus? Yeah. I could put $100 on Missouri. But then somebody said, well, how many people did Missouri, how many people did they qualify? And I was like, I guess I really could have looked all of that stuff up. But yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
6,000, Jeff.
The thing is, like, Penn State really did have 10 individuals who were in contention for national championship honors.
5 years I've been working with you. We've been talking about that's the record I've always wanted. I always found that the most impressive.
Yeah, I would say at least 9. I mean, we could argue and debate maybe on Braden Davis. I think the other 9 were clear national title contenders going into the weekend. What is a couple things on ESPN's coverage, and obviously I did not see any of it. I've seen very little, but a little bit on people's thoughts on it. The one thing, and I don't know what all goes into some of the decision making or what all is involved in terms of the technical side of it. There have been tournaments, several tournaments, where the ESPN interviews have been broadcast in the arena. Like, as they're occurring, they are playing over the arena. Most famously, Bo Nichols' pin of Miles Martin when he comes off. That is played in the arena when he is, that's what we do. That was in the arena. This one was not, and I don't know if there's a specific reason for it, one way or the other, right? But I'm curious as to why they do it in some, and if there was a specific reason why they didn't do it in this one.
You know my pet peeve of those interviews, right? Like, the dude just came off the mat 1 minute ago trying to catch his breath, and you're asking what he's thinking.
Well, but that's why. Yeah, but that's why you're doing those interviews there. Is you want to get
give me 5 minutes,
the immediate reaction. Yeah, but then you're letting them get their thoughts together. I know,
but it's just
it's
hard
to be
watch.
A different interview.
Well, I was sitting there, I was thinking,
yeah. But I think that's what you want as a fan. You want to hear, all right, in the moment, the exhilaration of it, what is going through your mind right in that moment.
And your boy came as advertised, by the way, from Cal Bakerfield.
So, had a heck of a tournament. I mean,
he really did. He doesn't need to act the way he does. That's what drives me crazy. You don't need to do that, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, he'll tell you that's he's helping the sport. People are tuning in to see it. It's part of the show, and it really doesn't bother me either way. I know some people were getting worked up. Some people love it. I'm like, it really does not bother me either way. It's like, all right, well, you kind of know what you're getting.
You may have already been packing up, but he had well, I guess we did have bar at 197, so you would, but he was on Saturday night, but he came out late to his last match. Like, he used the max time to and then he came out and there were boos and people, and he was riding the crowd a little bit and all that.
He likes getting.
He's got the heel at the WWE heel written all over him.
For sure.
I mean, he has that type of personality and that type of charisma where he can't be anything but a heel. And using the word, the Lord, he's his savior, and then using the word BS in the same exact sentence 4 seconds apart is like, come on, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not going to say you're see-through, but come on, man. But
I will say I hadn't heard before.
Damn good though.
Before you said that, the thought on Starachi leading things off, getting everybody in their seat ahead of time. That actually
it makes a little bit of sense.
It does. I had not even considered that, to be honest with you, previously, but since you said that, I'm like, oh, that does people make some in there sense.
Quick,
and then
because there's no way in hell he should not have been the last match. I'm sorry.
And normally, what happened? Precedent has been set that yes, that would normally be the case. Now, it worked out beautifully, obviously, for ESPN, but there's no way you know that going in. Now, again, the way it worked out, no question. It worked out brilliantly, arguably the greatest upset. It was interesting. I had some people come up to me at the
next
social
question
that the Penn State Wrestling Club has afterward, and they're like, not really that surprised. The one person, it's just kind of, and I'm getting caught up in it, but it just is kind of stuck with me. He's like, I'm not that surprised because I don't think he's in that great of shape, and I don't think he was practicing. I'm like, I'm not sure what you think he was doing during the season, but I guarantee you he was practicing and was practicing probably more than most of the kids on the team, which is a lot. Like I don't. Sometimes I think people's perspectives on things and what they think is happening versus reality. I'm just telling you, this is a sport. I don't care how good you are. You are not going out there without putting the time in the room during the course of the season. And again, I don't care how naturally gifted you are. You are not going out and winning the way Cable Stevenson was all season long without, again, putting the time in the room. Like, that's just not, it's not possible. It's not the way this sport in particular, any sport, but this sport in particular works.
I like your segue to my heavyweight issue because I did have to bring my people over for the weekend. I had to bring out my boys, Tab Thacker and Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
The 400 plus pound guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is the way it used to be in the 70s, and it worked its way down. Even when I started watching 10 years ago, there really wasn't much athleticism at the heavyweight position. Heavyweight, whatever you would call it.
Yeah, division. Yep.
Division. Those cats that finish in the final four, the final 8, they are athletic dudes. I mean, Kirkland is an unbelievably great athlete. Hendrickson is a great athlete. Stevenson's built like an oak tree, and he's an unbelievable athlete. I thought my wife's jaw was going to hit the floor when I said, hey, honey, come back in here. And I showed her him running around doing a backflip on tape. Yeah. She could not believe him.
Yeah.
That's a guy, he's 285 pounds. And he's every bit of that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's much shorter. I mean, can you imagine having to bring that guy down the way his body is built?
Yeah.
From the waist down, there's not much to go after, and it's about as wide as it is tall.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that Hendrickson got that win was unbelievable. And it was an athletic, he was a true athlete himself.
So for sure.
It's unbelievable how that division has been changed over the years. And I go back to Tab Thacker. I did not know this. I found it out when I was searching him the other day. He was Finch in Wildcats.
Yes.
You don't tell me this, I ain't in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Louise. But it was unbelievable. What just an awesome match. And ESPN got lucky, like I said earlier, by having that happen.
Yeah. Oh no, they did. Yeah, I don't know what all goes into some of the decision making and how they ultimately determine some of those things, including the order and who all is involved in the process and what type of input they get. The Starace thing, he had celebrated. I mean, he had his moment, and he's doing the interview. I really don't have a problem with and everybody was given the heads up. Like everybody in the I don't know if the fans, but everybody in the media and all of the personnel in the arena knew the order of events. It was going to be Starace Kakaisen, President Enders, and then we go to 125 and roll through the other weight classes. So it wasn't any surprise. I don't think Starace took it as any kind of disrespect because he's over there handing the president
TV,
his trophy.
It looked a little weird because Starace was being interviewed and he was just at the end of it, and then boom, they panned the Trump. And I could see where, you know how some people are.
Yeah.
They place politics above everything else, and he stole his thunder. But it's not about.
But Starace goes over and poses and hands him the national title trophy to pose with him for the picture later in the evening.
I haven't seen it, but I would love to get a shot of Hendrickson saluting Trump in that from behind type of thing. So I have to. The guy. I know there was some Pennsylvania senators, or Elon was there and all that, but the guy at the Cowboy had to been the Oklahoma senator who always brings Trump with him. Yeah, it was him and Henderson had that hug like they had been best friends forever, and that's the most awesome thing about it. I love that they bring the parents, onto it, and they have. I do have one issue, and I called a lot of people out on it. The kid Bird from Illinois hugged his girlfriend first, the 6'3" volleyball player. Yeah, which in itself is a beautiful thing. You hug your mom and you hug your dad first. I'm sorry. That's just me. Yeah, that's just me. And he was the only one who did it because I do look at that type of stuff, especially that time because I did know that his girlfriend was there and she was 6'3" and he's 5'5". It's hilarious because I seen the or the Big Ten Network thing on it, and I'm like, that's just the oddest couple I think I've ever seen. And then knowing she's there, but I had to call out my Illinois people for that one. He should be hugging daddy and mommy first, and that is the best thing because you got the Mad Turtle now at that age where you're doing a lot of driving and doing a lot of different things with him and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, your mom and dad's driving these kids to these matches, and how many Saturdays they spend watching, listening to whistles blowing and horns going and watching these guys wrestle for the last 18 years. Well,
so along those lines, and then we'll take a break. We're already late for the first one, but a couple of things along those lines. Overwhelmingly, these guys are genuinely appreciative and understanding of the sacrifices that parents and others are making to help them achieve their goals. We talk about it a lot, and it is true. When you're out there on the mat, there is a significant degree of courage that is needed just to step on the mat. Like it is you, and especially at this level, but really at any level, like to walk out there and take on another individual one-on-one. Like there is a courage that is needed to do that in a physical combat situation, right? Like that there's a courage that is required for you to step out there and be willing to do that. Even more so when you talk about 18,000 plus live, and then all those watching around the world in some cases. Like that is takes a special fortitude again just to go out there and do that. But there's also no question that in order to be able to do that at this level, you've had to have some good coaches along the way. You've had to have some good support from family or others close to you, and unquestionably from, folks in the medical community. One way or another, you're not getting to that level of wrestling without having had some medical attention along the way from some folks that knew what they were doing. And again, all of the other supports to various degrees, whether it's counselors, whether it's strength and training coaches, whether it's workout partners and teammates, fans that just are writing or just giving words of encouragement. All of that stuff does matter, and it does help develop a wrestler to give them the opportunity to go out and achieve what these guys did. I thought there were a couple of very cool things. Wyatt Hendrickson, when he comes off and he's hugging his dad, says something to the effect of, "Man, all those wrestling camps were worth it."
Yep.
Right? Like that's special stuff. At the team reception for Penn State.
Okay. Saturday night after.
Correct.
Okay.
After the event's over, the Penn State Wrestling Club does a great job, and I'll give them a shout out here in a moment. They have been very, very good to me over the years, and were presented me, and I'll show it here in just a moment, with a special presentation on Saturday night. Levi Haynes, and all the kids were great. Levi Haynes stands up and, again, comes back, wins third place, part of a record-setting team. He's now a three-time All-American, national champion. Lots of things that he could say, lots of directions he could go. What he does is he gets up and says, "I want to thank all of you for the support, but I really want to thank the families of our coaches. I don't know if you guys understand how much time our coaches spend away from their families, and we know that they love their families, and their families are very important, but their families are willing to let them come and work with us hour after hour after hour, day after day, week
on the
after
wrestler's
week,
schedule,
month after month, year after year, to help us achieve our dreams." And thank you to all of the families, wives and kids, for letting your dads and husbands spend as much time away from you as they do, because that is a big deal. And we understand the importance of that and the importance of your role in allowing us to achieve our dreams. Like, how many kids?
No.
How many kids?
No, I'm going to say wrestling
out
is different
there,
than most sports, because the coaches
kids
do spend so much time with
in
the
an
athletes.
opportunity like that's the direction you're going to go. Not, "Man, I really dug deep and bounced back," which, by the way, would be a more than reasonable thing. That, "Man, did you see what I did, and coming back and getting third, and I love being part of this team." And by the way, I think all of that is in there too. But what he chose to talk about was, "Man, thank you to the families of our coaches and staff for allowing us to have the opportunity to succeed, because they're spending so much time with us, developing us."
Like I was trying to say, it's that you guys, the wrestling guys, all 10 guys are different. They have different schedules. They have different timetables. They have different. With football, it's like, okay, from 2 to 7, you're only a Penn State football player. You're not allowed to do anything else. But, Casey and Kale and all those guys, they work around these kids' schedules. I mean, every kid's going to be different. Are they workout morning guys? Are they afternoon guys? The coaches aren't setting those times, are they? Or,
and along those lines,
amazing.
I'll just throw out a couple of additional kudos, because the amount of time that trainer Dan Monthly spends with these guys, and like getting Greg Kirkley ready after he sustained the knee injury the week before, the hours upon hours that he spent with Josh Barr and all of the other wrestlers. But I mean, like, this is not a 9 to 5 type of job. And I mean, he's in there on the weekends, he's in there in the early morning hours, he's in there in the late night hours, because again, these guys need different things at different times, and he is making that stuff happen. Michael Schroeder, who's the strength and conditioning coach, that job in and of itself is requires a lot of time and is a full-time job. But he and Adam Lynch, who is the director of operations, and Adam, I can't tell you the number of hours that those two put into making sure on these road trips in particular, but across the board. Hey, parents' tickets are taken care of. Family tickets are taken care of. Friends' requests. Getting all of that stuff in line, getting the laundry done when you're on the road for these guys, making sure they're getting the meals when they need them, making sure they're delivered, and it's what everybody wants and needs to get taken care of. The running back and forth at a tournament like this, where their hotel was a little further away, shuttling the athletes to and from as schedules required, making late night runs to get a little extra water, to get out of the Big Ten tournament, they made a run to get extra chairs. Went to a Walmart because there were 10 chairs given to each team. And they're like, well, we got a bunch of staff. We don't want the staff just standing around. These guys get there way ahead of time. Like the day before, they're looking this over, like,
it's just going to work. We got to get more.
Yeah, we got to get more. Like the attention to detail and the attention to making this as advantageous for their kids as they possibly can is it's impossible to overstate, because there's always going to be things that you can't anticipate. We've talked about it with Penn State football. The weather delay. It's that's not something until you go through it that you're really thinking through. My gosh, how do we plan for that? How do we handle the food? Well, it's the same thing. Inevitably, there's just things that are going to come up, and athletes are creatures of routine. You want to be able to just focus on your competition. You don't want to be worrying about, man, is my protein bar, this isn't the protein bar that I normally eat. You just don't want that. And they very rarely, extremely rarely, have any issues, because these guys are so on top of everything to make sure that everybody has what they need, is taken care of. And again, when I tell you these guys go the extra mile, I cannot tell you the extent to which these guys are invested on making sure that this runs as smoothly for the coaches and athletes as it possibly can. It's amazing to witness. It really is.
Yeah, and it's attention to detail. And like you're saying, like football, there's 85 guys or 65, 75 guys who travel. You're all getting the same meal and this and that. But you say wrestlers are different because they all have their required. It is so specific with your nutrition and your diet. Whereas us, a football game, I could probably put 5 pounds on in the weekend before the game even starts, the way they used to carb load us and stuff like that. But you can't do that to wrestlers. You can't just say, hey, all 10 of you guys get this. There's pasta and meatballs. Yeah, you can't do that. Just like you said, some guys like sushi, some guys like Italian, some guys like steak. And then, that's the guys you're talking about, the behind-the-scenes guys who take care of all of that.
Yeah.
That's a great job by Levi.
Yes. He's an impressive kid the whole way around. And but man, I'm just telling you that that is special stuff. When the first thing coming out of a tournament like that, where you had a little bit of a disappointment, had a strong finish, and all of the different things, for him to go there as his first thought, and
we're going to go to break.
That's a pretty
now.
special dude.
I need your answer before we go to break.
Yeah.
Was Bartlett losing the mustache a mistake? Did he?
I don't think
overshave, so he did it. Okay, I need to know that.
That was intentional. I don't know that for sure. We are coming back. It is the Lion Country Key, Goon and Ironhead show here at Quaker Steak and Lube. on a beautiful Tuesday in the Valley of Happiness. We're coming right.
There's only one dealer in Happy Valley that always goes to the mat to get you the best deals. It's Lion Country Kia.
Hi, this is Penn State wrestler Mitchell Messenbrink. Lion Country Kia has been serving Happy Valley for 15 years now. They helped me purchase my new Kia, and they would love to help you too.
Lion Country Kia is waiting for you with 85 vehicles in stock and ready to go. Choose from 13 2025 Kia Sportages and 16 2025 Kia Serenos with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Let us go to the mat to get you the best deals. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropwood Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on a Tuesday afternoon, 2 days before the start of the Major League Baseball season for most teams, including the beloved Pirates. We will have a bit of an abbreviated show on Thursday due to the Buccos opener. Pittsburgh will be in Miami to take on the Marlins. That'll be a 4:10 first pitch. So our show will wrap up at 3:40 so that we can provide coverage of the beloved Buccos for you, as we will do all season long.
New hot team on the market right there, Ironhead.
Sports Radio 98.7, The Fox. And looking forward to it. Can't get that season. Do we know how long, Denny asked, do we know how long Dan has been with the team? Yes. Well, roughly. It's about 30. He came in either, I want to say it was 2 years before. So I want to say it was like 86. So I think he's like 38 years with the team. 30. Yeah, I think that'd be about right. 38, 39. Right in that neighborhood, anyway.
He's the
I'm
trainer?
not off by more than 2 years. Yes.
Okay.
Because Dan Monthly does an unbelievable job.
In my sick little world and sick mind, Ironhead, I like when Michigan guys get hurt because the guy runs out there with the skullet.
Yeah.
Michigan's trainer, he's got like a 10-inch mullet in the back and he's got bald up top. It's absolutely the best skullet in the country.
Well, there you go.
Top skullet is what I'm going for on that one. Yes, but you are right. Those guys are super underappreciated. I've always said the strength coaches in the football program, you have a better relationship with them than you do your own position coach and head coach.
Yeah,
I mean, you're literally you are working your what's off for them. 300 days a year, and the other guys, that's just like, in the off season, you see your strength coaches in the summertime. And that's another thing that me and Landon talk about with the old school, new school stuff. I'm like, how we trained in the summertime. Like, Jeff, think about this.
Yeah.
We didn't have athletic trainers. They weren't allowed at our practices, at our running sessions. And we were running. I'm talking running, like long distances, short distances, sprinting in 102-degree temperatures. And the strength coaches are out there. They're the guys in charge of the water. They're in charge of running the practice. And there's no athletic trainers there 30 years ago.
Yeah.
None. And then you start seeing guys keeling over and passing away and stuff like that. And then, like now, all the trainers are there. They have an ambulance for workouts and stuff like that just in case. And I'm like, bro, this is 30 years. And we had nothing. They weren't even allowed there. Like, our athletic trainers weren't even allowed to watch a summer practice. When I say practice, I mean a running session at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. That was the times. So it's just something like that has come full circle. I mean, with having, obviously guys not here, thank God, but guys passing out in summertime heat from workouts and stuff like that. And there weren't trainers there. There weren't people with the shock paddles, which they do have in every building in Penn State now. That's come a long way, bud.
It all has. I mean, it really has in terms of the nutrition, understanding the nutrition needs, understanding the importance of sleep, and I mean, you go right on down the line. Even
does Kale harp on that type of stuff?
Oh yeah,
because the old man used to harp on the sleep thing, do this and do that. I mean, he didn't understand the nutrition thing as well as we do now.
Yeah.
And like I said, you've heard me say a million times, the kids nowadays they're light years ahead of where we were with understanding nutrition, understanding your bodies. But this Kale, okay, he hammers that stuff home.
I mean, they really do have a comprehensive approach. Now, I think everybody's following everything to a T? No, but I do think, obviously, the track record speaks for itself. But yeah, from the importance of the importance of knowing the training cycles and, the importance of rest for your body, like the Dan Gable days of man, you just work out 3 times a day all year long, no matter what. It is hard on your body. Now, are there people that might be able to do it and get away with it? Yeah, but are they giving themselves a chance to perform at their optimal level? Again, it could still be champions, but what Penn State really focuses on, and what Cale Sanderson and the staff focus on, is, can you perform at your best, whatever your best may be? And again, obviously they have a lot of guys on the team and have had guys in the program over the years that are not national champions, that are not starters. But what most of those guys will tell you is they feel like they left here being the best wrestler they were capable of being. There's some natural talent that is needed to be a guy that's out there wrestling for a national title that some just don't have. You just don't have that God-given ability. But can you become the best you can be through good sleep, good nutrition, the right training program, the right technique? Yes, all of that stuff matters. And can you become better than somebody that has more natural God-given talent? Of course, because you're putting the time in. And again, it's not just outworking, it's outsmarting, right? Your opponents. And it's, man, you got to be smart about the overall approach. And, part of it is trusting your coaches. And it's like, and not, man, I'm going to outwork these guys and I'm going to do an extra. And we've had this happen. Is the only reason. But where guys were like, yeah, I'm going to go get myself in even better shape and I'm going to run 3 miles in the evening without anybody knowing. Well, the problem is if the coaches don't know you're doing that and they're working you to get you ready, right? Like now you're overtraining and your legs aren't going to hold up. And there have been some situations over the years where that's happened. And obviously they're not trying to do anything nefarious. They're trying to help themselves, but they're not understanding that there is, like, all of this is well thought out, and there's a reason that it's laid out the way it is. And part of it is, your body needs the rest and recovery in order to be able to go out there and perform at the optimal level at the optimum times. And again, wrestling's just such a different animal than a lot of these other sports. I'm trying to think. I think gymnastics is probably similar in this regard, and maybe swimming and diving. But because there's different components year-round where these guys are competing in freestyle. Many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are competing in freestyle. So it really is a year-round endeavor.
Yep.
Different elements to it, different, there's a different training kind of methodology, if you will, for the freestyle circuit, because you're getting ready for maybe 2 or 3 tournaments versus weekly dual meets and then, Big Tens and nationals in the college season. But you're trying to get these guys, again, to be able to perform at their optimal level all throughout all of the competitions that are important to them.
Right. You were talking earlier, and I wanted to jump in on you, and I didn't because you were making a hell of a point, and that is you're talking about the wrestlers who go out there on Saturday night, and there's 19,000 people at the Wells Fargo, and there's 10 million people watching at home. That's nerve-wracking. That in itself, and it's like you and another dude, and that's it. You have to have the you-know-whats to go out there and do that.
Yep.
I'm just going back to my, I've talked to you many times about the first play of the Rose Bowl. And we all missed our blocks. We didn't block the right people, stuff like that. That was nerves.
Yep.
It wasn't because we weren't prepared. We were nervous as hell. I'm sitting there in my stance. I'm like, I'm in the freaking Rose Bowl. Like, this is unbelievable. I grew up watching this game. This is what everybody talks about.
Yeah.
There's 40 million people watching this game right now. We got to play now, That mindset of those guys, and that is, and I've talked about what Nate Carr had told me before, and there's no talking that really goes on in between the guys because wrestling is, football is 100 guys versus a guy or two. Wrestling's one guy versus 100 at times, and he goes, that's when you shut your mouth because you can't hide. And I absolutely love wrestling for that. And what you said was really good, and that is that these guys have to just step up, and you gotta have. You all your training, not to sound like Hulk Hogan, all the training you've done, all the Hulkamania, the prayers you said, and take care of your nutrition, all that stuff goes into that to get that guy out there to be a national champion. You can be as good as you can be. I always say the difference of when I coached, came back in 2005 to when I was playing, is that guys understood a lot more about their bodies. And I tell this story. I don't even know if I've ever told you this, but when we had the Coaches versus Cancer golf tournaments and stuff, and I had some guys back, and I had Puzz Lesney back. You've been to those things. You drink all morning, you drink all afternoon, this and that. You have a good time with the guys and stuff like that. So we're down post golf tournament. We're downtown, and he's like, "Oh man, don't bust my balls, good." And I said, "What?" And he's got a metric shake. And everybody around him is having a good time. It's a Saturday afternoon, a Friday afternoon in May, and there's a kid sitting there who everybody there was drinking, and he's over there making his afternoon metric shake or whatever he was doing. And he goes, "Don't bust my balls." And I'm not. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's dedication. That is why you are as good as you possibly can. Because if you're coachable, and he worked the way he did, and like I'm sure Storace, you have natural talent. But then you add in all of the other stuff, you're unbeatable, and that's why that kid's a five-time national champion.
Yes. Well, and I'll tell you what, we'll take a break here. When we come back, I do want to talk a little bit about that. I had a couple of interesting discussions over the weekend with different folks about the significance of the five-time component now to Carter Storace's career. There's a couple of things I just want to delve into with that because there are some different discussions that I think need to go on here, and greatest accomplishment or greatest achievement versus greatest career versus greatest wrestler versus greatest wrestling career. Like there's a bunch of different discussions there that people can have.
Yes.
And again, these are all opinions. So you start there. Like there's no, well, you can't possibly say, well, yeah, you can say anything you want, actually. But I do think there's I think there's some interesting things that we can delve into there with what Carter Storace was.
Can I preview a question for you so you can think about it off the air?
Absolutely.
I saw one of the wrestling pages I follow. Some guy said the city of Erie has now had 10 national champions total. With Nate Carr Sr. winning 3, Storace winning 2 or 5, and then there's other 2. Is there another city in Pennsylvania that can claim more than 10 national titles? We'll think about it off the air.
Yeah,
I'll throw a couple names out there.
I don't know that offhand.
Bethlehem, Allentown, maybe. Type of thing.
Yeah,
but that's pretty cool though.
No, it's very, very impressive. Yeah, there were some other just neat little stats coming out of the tournament. Maybe we'll delve into that as we continue. It's the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fall.
There's only one dealer in Happy Valley that always goes to the mat to get you the best deals. It's Lion Country Kia.
Hi, this is Penn State wrestler Mitchell Messenbrink. Lion Country Kia has been serving Happy Valley for 15 years now. They helped me purchase my new Kia, and they would love to help you too.
Lion Country Kia is waiting for you with 85 vehicles in stock and ready to go. Choose from 13 2025 Kia Sportages and 16 2025 Kia Sorentos with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Let us go to the mat to get you the best deals. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropwood Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Back once again on this Thursday. No, not Thursday. Tuesday afternoon. On Thursday, which is where it was going, we will have, again, a bit of an abbreviated show because the beloved Pirates are going to be airing on Sports Radio 98.7, The Fox.
Undefeated Pirates.
Absolutely correct. Season opener will be Thursday at 4:10, which means the airtime will be 3:40, which means 3:40 is when we will be wrapping up. Probably go into our commercial break right around 36 after on Thursday. So again, just a heads up, we'll have Pittsburgh Pirates baseball for you and the season opener against the Marlins in Miami again coming up on Thursday right here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. On this Tuesday afternoon, talking some Penn State Wrestling and the NCAA Wrestling Championships. Before we get back to that, just a couple of other quick notes. Penn State Women's Gymnastics will be hosting at Rec Hall starting April 2nd, the Regional Gymnastics Championships. Penn State's participation will be that Thursday afternoon, April 2nd at 1 o'clock at Rec Hall, but pretty cool. They'll be hosting that event over the course of that weekend, Thursday through Sunday. No action on Friday, but Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 2nd, 4th, and 5th, Penn State will be hosting at Rec Hall. Penn State hockey does get into the NCAA tournament and is going to be in the Allentown Regional, so PPL Center action for Penn State against Maine.
Tough draw.
Yep, tough draw, but it's going to be a tough draw no matter what. I mean, you're that's where you're at right now. But you're in Allentown. You're playing great hockey. You've got a terrific team, a hot goaltender, the whole bit. And listen, they could be one and done, no question about it. And it's, again, the nature of sports where they could get on a run. You know, it was funny, especially coming on the heels of the NCAA wrestling tournament, because I'll try to get back to my thoughts on this. I keep going off on different tangents, but I just happened to stumble across while I was trying to get caught up on some things, and now I'm forgetting if I think this was Sunday night. Doesn't really matter. I was watching the 30 for 30 on the North Carolina State basketball team.
Win and continue.
The magical run. And if the one of the top free throw shooters in the country doesn't miss 2 free throws, like that great story that we're retelling all these years later, and there's just so many things in sports like this, and again, it's what makes the stories great. It's why we are drawn to sports. Is, man, if that one little thing had changed, well, and I'm going to get to Carter Starace with this because I think what he did. Well, yes, there needs to be a notation because obviously nobody else has had not nobody. None of the other 4-time champions and very few wrestlers, other than in this specific 5-6 year window, have the opportunity that he did. Now, there's still one thing to have the opportunity, another to cash in on that opportunity and take advantage of it the way Carter Starace did. And more on that in a moment. But, we've talked about it with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's talked about it. If the Fumblerooski or the tuck roll, not the Fumblerooski, now I'm on Boise State. If the tuck roll doesn't happen, that specific play, Brady's likely not, like Bledsoe's going to be the starter the next year.
Correct.
And that story, again, who knows how it turns out? We'll never know. It happened the way it did, and we have the story that we do. There's just so many little things in the history of sports. If you think about Tiger Woods in the Masters, and if that putt on 16 stops 1 inch shorter, obviously his career is still great. That is the most iconic moment of his legendary career. And
2005.
But it's legendary because of the way everything played out. And again, you go on and on. With Carter Starace, there's just a couple of things, and I can't remember if we talked about it here. I've talked about it with several people, but I've had some folks ask, what is Carter Starace going to be known for? Like Cael Sanderson, obviously known for the undefeated record, but ankle pick, that's what you think of. Cael Sanderson, man, he just would snatch that ankle from anywhere, and it seemed like an unstoppable move. Max Dean here at Penn State, the bow and arrow. All what Carter Starace will be known for, I think, is winning. And I said this to somebody, and they kind of laughed, like, yeah, but I'm like, no, that is what he's going to be known for. Like, he was really good on top, like really good, tough to ride, had very good single leg, very good double leg, great reshots. Great reshots.
Yep.
But what he's known for is he will do what it takes and find a way to win the match when everything is on the line. So there's no question. Again, not many people were given the opportunity to win 5 titles. So, yes, it's a unique accomplishment, but in part because it's a unique opportunity. That being said, so he had, I think it's okay to disclose, it wasn't huge, but he had a finger issue this year at the end that was not inconsequential. I'll leave it at that. When you go to the knee injury last year, and then I guess it'd be 3 years ago now, the wrist injury, when I tell you he's known for winning, he just willed himself to victory. And it didn't matter what obstacles you put in front of him. It didn't matter. And listen, Parker Kickeisen, I'm not sure that Penn State fans, maybe they do. I'm not trying to disrespect or appreciate the knowledge of the Penn State fans, but Parker Kickeisen is a next level elite wrestler. Like, that guy is special. He is a 5-time All-American, all 5 times in the top 3. And I think coming out of every tournament, we talk about this one way or another. But if you're finishing in the top 3 at the national tournament, you're good enough to win a national title. Like, it might just be that a bout didn't go your way. It might be that there's one guy that's just exceptional and you're there at the wrong time. But, top 3 guys, generally speaking, I'm not saying definitively across the board, but pretty consistently, if you're top 3, you're a guy that could have won the national title. Like, you have that type of talent. And more often than not, you were just, it was just one move or something happened. And again, it could be that you just ran into that guy that is even next level from elite in your weight class. But what Carter did in beating Parker Kakaisen, and listen, I don't know this, but instinctively I have to believe Kakaisen's mission this season was Carter Starachi. Now, Max McAnally came along, changed everything.
That kid's a stud, dude.
Yep, and the exchange between if you didn't see it in the semifinals, they are in sudden victory, and McAnally looks like he has a sure takedown. He's going to take Kakaisen out. Kakaisen somehow scrambles out of it. McAnally re-scrambles. I mean, there's moments there in this wild exchange where you're like, oh, that's it. This McAnally won. Nope, that's it. Kakaisen won. Nope, that's it. McAnally won. And I mean, it is a wild scramble. Kakaisen ultimately comes out on top of it, gets the takedown.
I could not believe it.
Yeah, I literally thought he lost. As did I think 99% of the people watching.
Who the hell's
Parker even said after that match, he's like, no, I thought he's like, I mean, I kept wrestling, but he's like, I didn't, I thought he had.
Yeah.
But he's like, my instincts kicked in. I kept wrestling and amazing stuff. So Kakaisen, though, I think focused, and again, Northern Iowa, great coaching staff. Kakaisen, a terrific talent, really good kid, right work ethic, does everything the right way, trains the right way, all of it. For Carter Starachi to beat him in the All-Star meet at the start of the season, and we've talked about this over the years, Goon, too, is I think when you have two top-level guys where there's not much there, like, and there's not much separating those two. Yep. Like that, they're both outstanding wrestlers. When they meet and one beats the other, I think the advantage goes in that next meeting to the guy that lost, because now he knows, all right, man, this is what I've got to work on. And if you listen to Parker Kakaisen talk about this before, like going into the tournament, before Carter's match and the pre-championship press conference, and then even after the match, he did learn something from that first meeting, and he's like, yep, I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to try to get in clean on a shot. Again, much easier said than done, obviously, with Carter. But he really, and I think he had the right game plan. I mean, I think he executed it pretty well, about as well as you could. For Carter Starachi to do what he did in that match in particular, even going back to the Big Ten title match with McAnally, and then certainly you go to the tournament last year where he's beating a couple of former national champions basically on one leg. I mean, this guy, I understand it was a unique opportunity, and the 5-time thing bugs some people because it's like, well, Stever maybe could have been, maybe Kale. Yep, and they weren't given, and we'll never know. I'm just telling you that the number of guys that we've seen who have come back with this COVID, the extra year of eligibility, and I do not blame anybody for taking advantage of that. Gable Stevenson included. I know some people have criticized him. It's like, come on, move on already. Hey, they're giving you the opportunity. Being in college is fun for many of us. I mean, I still look back like that was, it's a different type of fun, and I would not give up my family for anything. And being able to watch my kiddo grow and see things through his eyes is special. And I wouldn't go back from that, because it's just so fun being on that journey with him. But college years were a heck of a lot of fun. And I don't blame anybody for, hey, man, I get another year of being able to compete, doing the thing I love. Yep. But yeah, take advantage of it. I blame the NCAA. I just think it was mishandled. I don't even blame them that much. I mean, it was an unprecedented thing, much like the, COVID and all that. nobody knew exactly what the right thing to do. I think in retrospect, most of us could agree, yeah, this was not right. Not giving the guys that missed the 2020 tournament an opportunity to ever get a fourth championship, and then giving a bunch of people that really weren't going to be, weren't significantly impacted, giving them an extra year because of 2021. Like, it's just, I just don't think it was handled well. I'm not going to be overly critical of it. I think the intention was good, but you're right. But I certainly don't fault the athletes for taking advantage of it, any of them.
And he can make a lot of money when he came back, too.
When you look at the number of athletes who took advantage of that extra year and weren't able to compete at the level that they had throughout their career, and wrestling is just a sport, and I think you talked about it with football. Like, you were ready to be done. With the college experience, football-wise, when it was over. It's like, man, that was fun, that was cool, but it's over. Like, I'm ready to move on.
Yep.
Wrestling, again, I don't know that. Like, Ono has if you missed it yesterday, big announcement that Ono, the Japanese superstar who beat Spencer Lee, is enrolled at Penn State, will be competing for the Nittany Lions next year. One of the things that I'm cautioning people, and I think he will be successful. Let me start there. I'm not predicting anything but success for him, but I do think that the folks are like, man, he's just going to come in and dominate.
No.
Let's wait and see, because folk style and freestyle are two different things. And the grind of the college wrestling season, it's just unlike anything else out there in sports, because you're managing classes, you're managing all of the things that come with life and college life in particular, and the mental and physical grind of getting through an entire college season, where the practices, are starting in early October, and really, again, for most of these guys, they're year-round in one form or another. But from the college standpoint, I mean, you're starting in early October, and you're rolling through till mid to late March. That is a long time to be putting the physical and mental demands on your body and mind that wrestling requires. And there is a different conditioning that is required to get through college wrestling than it is freestyle. It's a minute longer. Wow, come on, a minute longer. It's a minute longer, man. and I'm telling you, a minute is a long time when you're out there pushing against another human being. You have another human being pushing and trying to grind you down. Like, it's a lot. And the mat wrestling is also much more grueling and taxing, because you have got to work. Like, they don't just after 10 seconds, all right, get back on your feet. Like, you got to work your way out. And this guy is doing everything he can, your opponent, to keep you down. Well, that wears on you. Like, that is a different type of both mental and, again, physical toughness that is required to do that. And same thing on top. It's, you're grinding to keep the guy on bottom. So do I think Ono will make the transition well with this coaching staff and with what he has in the room? Yes, but it is different. Like, and we've seen a lot of guys over the years have wild success in the freestyle circuit, and then they're like, pretty good on the college front, but like, they're winning titles on the world stage. And I was like, man, why isn't this translate? Well, because it's different. It's a different style, and it is I would argue it's a more difficult. It's certainly different. We could debate maybe other the difficulty, but from a conditioning standpoint, it certainly requires more conditioning. Your body has to be ready for more rigorous activity to get through a college wrestling season than through the freestyle tournament season. So we'll see how all of that plays out. But we've had a lot of guys come back for that fifth year as sixth or seventh year guys you're like, yeah, man, they don't look quite the same. Well, yeah, because their body and their mind are worn out. And you're like, yeah, but they were better like a couple of years ago. Yes. Their back is aching more. Their legs are sore. Like I remember talking
They've
with
been in the
David
restaurant
Taylor
for 40 hours a week.
I talked with David Taylor about this during his senior season, which obviously he was wildly successful. But I remember talking to him after practice the one day, and he's like, yeah, this season has been my toughest collegiately. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're dominating everybody? He goes, yeah, but my back is sore, man. He's like, I'm getting a lot more, therapy and attention. And he goes, I just, like, my body. And then he talked a couple years later. He's like, yeah, getting into freestyle was great because I was able to give my body time to relax, got everything straightened out. Obviously, then I ended up making the move up and going through that whole process. But, for one thing, you're able to focus just on that because you're not worried about classes and everything else that comes with being in college. And also you have, you determine kind of your schedule, obviously not in terms of the Olympic trial. You know when the trials are going to be, though, and when the Olympic or world competitions are. And so you're training with the idea of, all right, these are the 2 or 3 competitions that I need to get ready for and be at my peak each year. But you can give your body the time to recover, recuperate, figure out what's best for it, all of that stuff. You don't really get that opportunity in college because of just the way that season wears on you and plays out. So to me, while yes, it was a unique opportunity and fair to point out that all of these other guys that were 4-time champions never had the opportunity to be a 5-time champion. I'm also telling you that it's just not as automatic as what I think some might make it out to be, where it's like, well, of course, if you're a 4-time champion, you're given the 5th opportunity. Of course, first of all, Parker Kikaisen was there and Max McAnally, to say nothing of Max McAnally, but also, again, the mental and physical fortitude and the competitive fire that Carter Starace had to be able to do what he did all throughout his career, but this year in particular, I just think it does stand out as a truly historic and monumental achievement. Now,
you took everybody's best shot.
Where you put any of these wrestlers on the all-time pantheon of college wrestlers, this is the fun of sports, and people debate this all the time. Greatest baseball player ever is this. Greatest pitcher of all time is this. It's all debatable. I mean, this guy had more power. This guy could hit the strike zone. This guy was able to. He was a 5-tool. Yeah, but this guy hammered. All fine and all debatable. Carter Starace would be on anybody's conversation as one of the best to ever lace up the shoes and compete in college wrestling. The best, for my money, the best I've ever seen, still Cael Sanderson. There will be people that argue that, well, yeah, but Cael Sanderson never had like a Parker Kikaisen or a Shane Griffith or some of these guys that Starace had to get past.
Who's the announcer?
What I would argue is, yeah, part of the reason that you don't think there were those caliber of guys like Daniel Cormier is the fact that Cael Sanderson was that good. I think some of those guys actually were that good. It's just Cael made them look pedestrian because he was such a next level guy. But again, we can debate. I mean, I think, certainly for my money, Jason Nolf and Zane Rutherford, David Taylor, even though, 2 championships compared to the 3 or 4, in terms of the consistency with which he performed at a high level. Yeah, certainly Bo Nickel, Aaron Brooks. Again, from Penn State's perspective. And then you go through over the years. I mean, Spencer Lee, Matt Ramos match notwithstanding, not like that guy was next level. Gable Stevenson, notwithstanding his last loss. Dan Gable. Again, we can these are all great wrestlers, and there's another 20 that you can add to the list and put into the discussion of all-time greats at the collegiate level. And then you get, the overall career. That's another discussion when, John Smith, Cale Sanderson, Bruce Baumgartner, Jordan Burroughs. All fun discussions to have. Everybody's going to have their opinion, and that's fine. This was a singularly spectacular achievement by Carter Starace, and it does come with its own special place now in college wrestling history. And it is a place that was earned by Carter Starace, and no question, with a lot of help along the way. Casey Cunningham, Cody Sanderson, Cale Sanderson, those guys just do it at a higher level than anybody in the sport ever has.
Say it every year. I love the coolness of them all.
And so cool. And maybe we'll pick up on this on the other side. One of the things that they do a great job of, and I mean great, is truly not getting too high or too low. And they talk about it all the time. And we're going to approach every day the same. And, obviously they recognize, the wrestlers recognize, well, yeah, this is a bigger deal, this NCAA tournament, than that dual meet we were wrestling back at the start of the season, for sure. But in terms of the approach and the way they're going about their business in the room, the things they're going over, no, it is not different. Now they're going to adjust some things training-wise, make sure your legs are under you, all of that stuff for sure, as all teams are trying to do. But what this team does consistently is, oh, man, that was a disappointing result. Hey, guy, let's look at what we need to do to improve the result the next time you're out. When's the next time? That might be in an hour, might be tomorrow, might be next week. Okay, whatever time we have, this is what we need to work on. Did you feel that? Yep. Do you know what you need to do? Yep. Man, I'm not sure. I got into that position. Oh, well, this is what we need to do. And, man, they make the adjustment, and they have guys that obviously are wrestling at a very high level, understand it, and can make the adjustment. Coachable kids. Carter Starace, as coachable now as he was when he first came in, and listens. I was up there watching him in practice, and I don't know what was said. I was on the other side of the room, but I'm watching them, and Casey is going over whatever it is he's talking to him about, and he's showing them something, and they're working on it. And, well, again, it's a special type of humility that you have. I mean, this is a 4-time national champion. He's undefeated, hasn't lost a contested match in 4 years. And, yeah, man, I want to listen to what you have to say, because I want to become a little bit better here in this tournament. I want to see if I can take my game to the next level. That is special. That is not all that common of a trait.
Another thing I noticed, and this has nothing to do with Starace because he was never in this position, but I'm watching Keegan O'Toole go down 8-0. And 98% of the world starts freaking out.
Yeah.
And then he knew exactly where he was and what he had to do. And I've seen other stars do that.
Yes.
Like, okay, I've seen Starace this year. Like, okay, he could have gone out and pinned most of his opponents. But I think that he likes to, like, okay, I'm really going to wrestle. I'm really going to do this. And that's the whole, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to let you up. Take you down, let you up. I swear to God, I watched one match, and I said, I got done the match, and I was like, I think he just wanted to wrestle all 7 minutes tonight. I just think he personally went out there and said, you know what? I need a good run tonight. I'm going to go really hard. But, him going hard is destroying somebody, and the match is over in 30 seconds. But he's like, I'm going to wrestle 7 minutes tonight. So he took it the whole way, and then won by, tech or whatever in the end. But, yes, I did notice about the great ones. And that is that they don't get flustered or don't get upset when they go down. Again, we never saw Starace go down big numbers. But a guy like O'Toole goes down, and you could see it where, like, human nature makes you think, oh, my God, I'm down 8. I gotta do something now, and you put yourself in a position where the guy takes advantage of you and you lose that match.
No, I think
it's
it's
the
a great
great ones. They understand the timing of it, and then they're so good in their head, like I got this, that I don't need to take risks. I got 4.5 minutes left. I got this, and it's just amazing watching that type of wrestler out there, knowing that they are that good, and then they don't need to rush around and I got to pin this guy now, because that puts you in a bad position.
Yep.
And it's amazing watching that going on the other day, the whole weekend.
No, it's a great point. There's just that
calmness, like okay, I got
understanding
this.
Of all right, this is the situation. This is what I got.
And I'll tell you this story. You've heard me say this when we went down 21-0 against Illinois in 1994.
Yep.
I know I'm the guy saying glory days all the time on the show, but
no,
I sat there and the guys were on the sidelines. There was coaches and people they were fighting. And they were like, because the wide receivers needed to get shoes on. They needed different cleats. And Shopey and Spider and Kirk are running around, cutting laces off, putting shoes on. And then they're getting yelled at, that's the wrong effing shoe and this and that. And they're yelling at their equipment managers, and the players are yelling, and the coaches are yelling. And I mean, I didn't have to talk in 94. We had such good leaders in the team.
Yeah.
And I just said, everybody shut the up. We're fine. We got these guys. We knew what we could do. We knew how good we were. And that's that cocky attitude.
Yeah.
It's that swagger you have. Like, we're good. Like, we know that we're good. We're down 28-14 at halftime at that game. Everybody knew in that room we were going to win that game. There was not one, like, people ask us all the time, well, when did you get scared? When were you? Never. We were sort of laughing. Again, we go down in the fourth quarter. The punt goes over Mike Archie's head. We were laughing in the huddle. Down a touchdown. Down 3 points, going 96 yards away in a rainstorm, and we were laughing. That's how good we knew. That's how good these guys know that they are, and they trust in themselves, and they trust in their coaches, and their coaches trust them, and they won't put them in that position. And if they do get in that position, they won't panic. Stuff happens. It's bound to happen. Joe Paterno. There's going to come a day when the ball's not bouncing your way, and you're still going to have to reach down somewhere and pull that game out. You got to go somewhere where you've never gone before. And it happens to every team. No team goes through the whole season undefeated without ever have any kind of.
Yep.
You said he had a little finger injury or whatever. That's an obstacle in wrestling. You might need those fingers for something.
Yeah.
So.
It changes what you can do from a grip standpoint and all of that. We'll pick up the conversation. A couple of follow-up points here as we continue. It's the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube. You are listening to Sports Radio 98.7 The Fall.
There's only one dealer in Happy Valley that always goes to the mat to get you the best deals. It's Lion Country Kia.
Hi, this is Penn State wrestler Mitchell Messenbrink. Lion Country Kia has been serving Happy Valley for 15 years now. They helped me purchase my new Kia, and they would love to help you too.
Lion Country Kia is waiting for you with 85 vehicles in stock and ready to go. Choose from 13 2025 Kia Sportages and 16 2025 Kia Serenos with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Let us go to the mat to get you the best deals. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drybowl Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Those guys.
Hello.
We are back here on a Tuesday afternoon. Again, a little bit of an abbreviated show on Thursday due to our coverage of the Pittsburgh Pirates this season. Buccos season opener in Miami against the Marlins Thursday at 4:10. Airtime will be at 3:40, so we'll wrap things up before then here with our Thursday show. We've been talking Penn State Wrestling, of course, winning its 13th national championship, the 12th under Cale Sanderson, 4th straight. Penn State will try to make some more history next year, setting the scoring record this year, becoming the first team in NCAA history to have all 10 wrestlers earn a top 6 finish at the NCAA tournament, and just the second team to have all 10 finish as All-Americans. That being said, a little disappointment Friday night with the 3 and 4 semifinal round, but I think what was really impressive was the way that they responded to that. And, you know, we've been talking. So I think you saw that even in some of those losses that Penn State sustained. Like even Shane Van Ness fell behind big to Ridge Levitt, came back, couldn't come all the way back and give Levitt credit. Again, sometimes, you know, you talked about, you know, kind of laughing. You knew you were going to go down. Except you didn't really, like, you know, maybe there's a fumble there that's somewhere along the way. You know, my guess is this Penn State team this past year felt really good getting the ball and then, man, we're going to go down here and we're going to beat Notre Dame. And then you have – so it does – like, even if you're handling it right and you have that championship mentality and you know, all right, yep, this is what I need to do, man, sometimes the opponent's just up to the task too. It's like, yeah, we know what you need to do and we're not letting you do it. Or again, you make another mistake on your way to the comeback. Like it happens. It's sports, it's games, and the other guys are really good too. What I thought was beyond impressive was the way, again, Penn State came back, didn't sit around and sulk for itself. And again, I think some of those kids are probably still hurting. They were not showing it outwardly. They were those that were there Saturday night for the reception were outwardly very upbeat. And again, part of an historically great team, 177 points, new scoring record at the NCAA championships, all 10 guys, again, not just All-Americans, top 6 finishes. 8 of the starters finish in the top 3. That we may never see again, or at least not until next year's Penn State team takes the mat. But really, in a lot of ways, it was more impressive getting all of those guys to come back and finish third, where you knew, like Tyler Kasak's certainly good enough to win a national title. He beat Antrell Taylor, who ended up as the national champion, and hats off to him. This isn't sour grapes. He went out and earned it. Yep. He won the title, but Tyler Kasak has a couple of wins over him during the season. I mean, Levi Haynes clearly good enough to win the national title this year. Luke Lillidahl, you go right down the list. Bo Bartlett certainly, again, right there, a toss-up match, could have gone either way. Hats off, Jesse Mendez won it. But all of these guys come back, and I think it was
the easiest thing in the world was to be the sulk.
Yeah, I think in large part, though, the reason they came back the way they did was because they wanted to be there for their teammates. It's like, man, this is still important. I don't know that the scoring mark in and of itself was necessarily, hey, we want to get that scoring record. But I do think it's one of those things, hey, we want to finish this thing up strongly. And this team has consistently done that, not just in the finals. When you look at the wrestlebacks, and they have had losses. I mean, again, let's be clear. Like, not everything always finishes up the way you want. But the overall record in those final bouts of the season, I have to go back and look at it, but they win much more often than not in the final bout, whether it's in the title bout, whether it's a 3rd place, 5th place, 7th place bout, much more often than not. Penn State kids win
17-1 this year.
And part of it is there is just that mentality there that, hey, I am going to go out, and regardless of the circumstance, regardless of what's happened previously, I'm going to go out here and impose my will. And that's the goal in every match. And again, sometimes it doesn't happen. But I think that mentality gives you the opportunity to have it. And in those wrestlebacks, again, a lot of times guys it is easier to have the mentality once you give up that initial takedown, or if you fall behind, it's like, well, still an All-American. Yep,
it was very easy for those guys to do that.
Yep, and so I do think what they did in that Saturday afternoon session, in many ways, is as special, or maybe even more.
I know you didn't see it, but Bartlett,
some of the finals performance
comes out, gets his win. They're interviewing him, and he's watching. I don't know who would have wrestled right after him.
Spain Van Ness.
And are they best friends?
Well, Van Ness actually, I think, got the pin right before him, so probably Kasak at that point.
He's sitting there. He's sitting there, like in an interview. He was more excited for his teammate.
Yes.
And it was like, and that's the thing, man. That's a team. Like, you can sit there, we can argue all day, is wrestling a team sport? And there's a lot of people who say, no, they're out there wrestling for individual national titles. You could see Saturday morning, it's not an individual sport. Yeah, they can finish third. That's great. But I'm not going to try and let my team down. Like, my team needs these points. And it wasn't at that point, Nebraska had 3 guys in the finals. So they could have gotten 24, 34, 30 points or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't mathematically at that point. Mathematically, they still could have won as of like after Friday night, right? Nebraska could have come back. Penn State could have pooped the bed and all that stuff and lost everything.
I mean,
yes, that could have happened.
Mathematically, it was.
No, I remember. I was just sitting there, and was there a speech given Friday night or Saturday morning to the team like, hey, this is what we need. We're all going to go out there and win, or they just know it?
No, I think. I mean, I don't.
I guess I should ask. Do they have those
privy to the conversation? Yes, they will get together.
Okay.
And
well, I know they wrestle all different times.
There's something to the effect of, hey, like, you want to finish this up strongly for your season, or for those of you, Bo Bartlett, you want to finish off your career, right? Getting your hand raised.
Yeah,
like, this is a big deal. Go out there and, let it fly. Have fun. The same things that they preach all the time, but re-emphasize it. That, this is, you get a couple of more opportunities now to go out and compete. That's what you love to do. Let's go do it, and let's make the other guys not want to wrestle you again.
Did you think they had the scoring title? When did it hit you?
No, so to be honest with you, I going into Saturday, I knew mathematically they had a shot at it, but it's like
a lot of guys.
They would have to go on such a run here. They would need to get basically all of their guys to wrestle for third, and would probably need some bonus points along the way. Well, they don't get all of them. They go 5-1. And Greg Kirkfleet is
I want to talk to you about
injury defaulting out to 6th place, and they know that. So they go 5-1, but then in that final round, all 6 guys not only win, all 6 pick up bonus points for your team. And Shane Van Ness, the mathematical clinching was with Van Ness's pin, which is kind of special as well. And to your point, though, I want to pick up on because this has been a theme throughout the Cale Sanderson era here at Penn State, is that the wrestlers you see them celebrate more for their teammates. And some of my favorite shots over the years are those pictures of the guys watching a teammate, and then when that teammate wins the national title. Down on the floor on Saturday night, Mitchell Messenbrink and Carter Starachi are as into Josh Barr's title bout against Stephen Buchanan as 2 people could possibly be. They're kind of standing on the floor on the near side of the arena from my vantage point, and they are both yelling out instructions. They're fired up, and obviously he comes up just short against a terrific wrestler in Stephen Buchanan, but I mean he's right there. But to watch the 2 of them, again, both of their tournaments are over. Penn State already has the scoring record. Penn State has the 10 All-Americans. I mean, in the overall scheme of things from the team's standpoint, and for Mitchell Messenbrink or Carter Starachi, like, this match is meaningless. It's insignificant. But it's not, because they know their teammate has put in everything to win a national title this year, and they want to see him do it for him. And they are there. I mean, they are shouting out instructions. They are encouraging. They are pumping their fists when he fights off a takedown, when he gets in on a shot. I mean, they're wrestling it with him. And you see that, and then you see the families of these wrestlers. And you see not just the Barr family. You see the Messenbrink family. You see the Lillidahl family. And they're like, come on, Josh. Like, they are into it as though it was their son, as though it was Luke Lillidahl out there. Andre Bartlett, and I mean, I cross them. I'm going to end up, but I'm telling you, the parents are all pulling for each other's kids as though it's their own son out there. That is a special kind of buy-in that I'm not sure every program has. I'm not going to tell you Penn State's the only one. There are a lot of great coaches and great programs and that create that family culture. But it is special when you see it happen, and when you see it happen to the degree that it occurs as consistently as it occurs here. It's when you know that you have something really, really special above and beyond. And the wrestling is special. I mean, no doubt about it. But what makes this program so special to follow, and I think so special for the fans to support, is that it's more than the winning. And honestly, and I hope we don't have to test this theory, but if they weren't winning, if they were finishing 7th or 8th, it would be special because of the way these guys are supporting each other, and they're getting the most out of what they have to give. And I just think at the end of the day, that's so much. It is bigger than winning. And again, it's easy to say that. I understand. And people, well, yeah, when you're winning all these championships, of course you could say it's about more than that. I'm just telling you, watch the way those guys came back when they weren't winning, when they went 3-4 in that semifinal round. Did you see Luke Lillidahl smile before he took the mat? Before he took the mat in the consolation semifinals, he's smiling. He's excited. He's Well, these are guys that are living what the coaches are preaching and what they're saying, that they do enjoy the competition. They do, and again, they want to win. There's no secret about that. They are here to try to win national titles, but they also are here because they want to go out and give their best effort. They want to enjoy the process, and I think overwhelmingly, it's what they do, and it is a big part of why they have the success that they do. Is they don't get too. They don't sit around and sulk when there's a loss. Shake your hand with the opponent. Man, great match, great job. Kudos to you. Along those lines, Gable Steveson was extremely gracious with Wyatt Hendrickson. I don't know what was going on beforehand, and I still haven't gone back and looked at that. I've seen different people with
the flag,
different takes on that. Yeah, but afterward, Gable Steveson, when they were on the podium, he a couple times pats the back of Hendrickson, and when they announce Wyatt Hendrickson, national champion, and they're presenting him the trophy, Stevenson's there right next to him saying, man, great job.
Good job.
Thumbs up.
You won it.
That's what it should be. Like, again, Gable Steveson obviously wanted to win this thing.
Sure.
I'm sure he's hurting it inside. Pride is wounded a little bit, but also understands, man, I am not going to take away. Like, this is a great moment for this kid. It's a great moment for the sport, and he recognized all of that, and that's not an easy thing to do when your personal goals haven't been met. I thought Steveson was beyond gracious and handled it extremely well.
I know we're going off the air here in a minute, but I want to say this, and I said it to my wife when I was watching Saturday night, and that is that football, basketball players are going to sit there and say, what are you giving me? And I'm telling you, for a lot of them, the wrestlers, it's always like, what can I do for this sport? They know, even AJ Ferrari, he understands that you're trying to build and maintain this sport.
Yeah.
It is such a niche sport. There's no doubting that, but they need to expand it. And all of these kids know that, and they realize that, and they're doing what they can. What can I do to expand this? How can I make this? But how can we make this do? What can I do? Whereas football and basketball players are going to say, what are you giving me? What are you giving me to do that? I mean, I don't care. It's about NIL deals and stuff like that, and winning. Yeah, I get it, but it's like the football, the individual attitude would be, I think nowadays, of more of like, what are you going to give me? Where wrestlers are still like, what can I do to make this sport better? How can I make this better? Like, go up to Gable Steveson. He's the one sitting there saying, people are like, oh, he didn't shake his hand. The hell he didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. He definitely did. And then on the podium was great. It's just people, what they see and what they want to see sometimes, They want to make Steveson out to be this horrible person, and the whole world was against him because it's not. I loved watching that guy wrestle. It was amazing, and it was absolutely amazing seeing him lose.
Yeah,
and absolutely amazing seing how he lost and how he acted.
No,
hey, man, you show a lot in how you win and how you lose.
No doubt. It was a great tournament, fun tournament.
Good job,
we'll be back on Thursday. Until then, be good and be safe.
There's only one dealer in Happy Valley that always goes to the mat to get you the best deals. It's Lion Country Kia.
Hi, this is Penn State wrestler Mitchell Messenbrink. Lion Country Kia has been serving Happy Valley for 15 years now. They helped me purchase my new Kia, and they would love to help you too.
Lion Country Kia is waiting for you with 85 vehicles in stock and ready to go. Choose from 13 2025 Kia Sportages and 16 2025 Kia Serenos with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Let us go to the mat to get you the best deals. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropwood Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College. The Goon